I can see it going both ways, to be honest, but Blinky is considered the favorite on the moving game. In the last World Cup, he lost only one singular moving game.
That's insane.
And that was in the final to Consus.
So if there's one to bring him down, maybe now his weakness is starting to make a little more sense in that his nemesis, his kryptonite, has been Consus up until now.
It is possible. It is possible. I still think I favor Blinky like very, very slightly, but this could go either way. But it's gonna be one hell of a match.
Definitely will be. Definitely will be. And you know what? I think you and I, not only are we excited to see all this happen, but normally in other esports people say castle stop, talk, start game. GeoGuessr works differently in the fact that we can actually start game. So
Absolutely.
You know what? Have we set it all up? Have the players, have the desk, have the hype around this whole tournament set up this enough for us to now go, should we start the game, Lindley?
There's a moving game on our hands, and I think we can take a look. First round of the GeoGuessr World Cup 2024.
You know what? Let's get into it. Let's get started. Let's take a look here at what we are working with to kick things off.
We are in Stockholm, Sweden, and I think we are going to be starting off in a neighboring country here.
Oh!
Long dash is on the side of the road.
Meaning?
Should be Norway.
Norway.
Exactly. Let's start to play us off.
You know what? I've been waiting for this all year. Let's go. You want to count us in?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this.
Let's go. The World Cup is officially underway as Blinky and Consus takes to the globe to try and see if they can lock them in as fast as can be. You can see instantly Blinky has the map open already circling up towards Norway.
Absolutely. I mean, both of them are looking for information here, and I think we see actually signs on the side of Consus here. So the road number 770 might be very, very helpful to him here because the road numbers are organized in Norway. Blinky is also finding signs, but those are smaller place names.
Yeah, smaller cities, not easy to dial in. Unless if you know the entire world, which these players at this point do. So
Blinky
we'll see.
also has the road number now, so I think they will both have the general region because the 700s basically are in the same region of Norway, which is like halfway up the country basically. But I think Consus has the better information. I have not seen if he has found the 5k yet, but they are very close to each other. Blinky a little bit further out.
I mean, same peninsula. They are effectively going to be just a couple of kilometers from one another. Let's see who's going to get the first hit here at the World Cup, and it is going to be Blinky.
First round
off the World Cup with a 5k. What better way to kick things off?
What else did we expect, honestly? It is round 1, first 5k, 100% quote for Blinky at the moment. This is insane.
And you know what? I also love the fact that they took their time. We see a lot of people play very quickly into these moving games to try and kind of get the other guy to move faster. These guys took full time to lock in the 5k. What a great start out in the middle of the open in Norway. But let's go into round number 2 and let the amazement continue.
This might be an interesting one here because we see a very flat landscape, and in general it looks to me like it might be the weakness of Blinky.
Are we heading to Netherlands? Are we gonna see Consus with some home field advantage here? We'll know in just a couple of seconds as we take to route number 2.
Consus instantly opening the map here, but I don't think he's confident in the region, but he has found good signs. These are big towns. I think he has Eindhoven there, which is obviously something that even less experienced players would know. But with his home field advantage, I think he can definitely lock this one down pretty quickly.
So as a player yourself, I want to hear, going up against a guy like Blinky, do you want to try and stress him? Because I feel like when you get those 15 seconds, even for Blinky, I mean, that's 15 seconds, that's 5k material. What are you like? What are your strat going up against Blinky?
I have played against Blinky in the last World Cup, and while Consus locks in probably the 5k here, it doesn't work stressing Blinky. 15 seconds is so much time for him, and he is also good enough at no moving that he can adjust to basically every playstyle. So he has not found the information here though, and it's a good hit for Consus. It is the second 5k in the second round.
This was the repeat World Championship for a reason. Blinky gets to the first round Consus instantly responds with a 5k of his own. These guys are heavy hitting, and it goes to show now, even with low multipliers, when you're that consistent right from the start, one mistake, one slip up, and that could be game.
Absolutely, but on small countries like this, it's probably not going to happen because they will both know it.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see if the next round brings us into a bigger country.
Oh.
And what we see here in round 3 is...
A tuk-tuk.
A tuk-tuk, exactly, but I think this bollard might be a Mexican one, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So I think we're going to be somewhere in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. Let's see what the players do.
See what they get, see what they enjoy with it, as they can, of course, move up and down these streets, get all the info they want. Blinky, not instantly with the map open like we've seen in the past. This time around, taking a bit more time.
But Consus again moving the right direction. That is in the last round as well. Blinky did not find the information, although it was very close to spawn. And this time Consus finds it quicker as well. He might be just...
Does he have it now? Oh,
just a little
he
bit
saw it.
He saw it, yeah. And this is going to be very good information for them. They have road names, they have big town names. Mérida is one of the biggest cities in the Yucatan state. So I think we're going to see 2 very close guesses again, if not a double 5K.
Yeah, most likely around where it won't hurt too much, but we like it because the longer we prolong it, the more those multipliers are going to stack and the more it's going to hurt, making those small mistakes in the rounds to come. 15 seconds left, neither of the 2 wanting to bet early on here. They know what they're up against. They've both just 5K'd in the previous 2 rounds. So let's see who's going to log it in, who's going to get off. Do we get back-to-back for Consus, or maybe a second 5K for Blinky here as well?
Consus is on the state border, but it is not a 5K.
They were both circling the same road, and look at this.
Disappointing.
Wow. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Lindley. They were on the road. They were hovering for a while, but they just couldn't line it up perfectly. But 4 damage. I mean, these guys are completely dialed in.
Both in every single round so far, we have seen at least one player getting the correct road. We have basically no damage after 3 rounds.
Insane.
But what we can see now is something that could be a lot more interesting because we have something very obscure here.
Okay.
This is a car that I don't know. It's a Google car. And there's Google cars in certain national parks. And this is a national park in Australia, I believe. And every single national park has a different one.
Okay.
If someone studies them, they can do a very quick insta-guess here and pick up huge points, potentially. Let's see how it goes.
Australian national car meta. Let's see if they have it. If there's one player to have it, it would be one of these 2.
I think so.
Let's see.
Maybe this time they will not take their time if they know it.
Yeah, well, that could be it, right? If you have the info that the other player might not. Ooh, Blinky instantly. Initially.
Yeah. Maybe Blinky knows it. He's zooming into the Flinders Ranges in South Australia there. Oh, but they have road signs.
A lot
so
of info.
With these road signs, I think they should be able to use the information, maybe. Okay. Blinky moving up to a bigger sign there.
Is that another thing where, as a moving player, whenever you get in and you feel like, oh, I have it instantly, but then you see a ton of info on your screen, you go, wait, now I might actually want to spend some time instead of just insta-guessing?
Absolutely. If you see the movie, if you see the information close by, then you will try to change up your strategy and lock it in. But as you can see here, they are both indeed in the Flinders National Ranges. They found the town of Hawker on the sign, which is very close to where they are right now. So that is actually the national park that Blinky zoomed into instantly.
Yeah.
But he didn't lock it in. If he did, maybe Consus wouldn't have found it.
True.
And now we see the 5K from Consus.
I mean, this is completely insane to me. A lot of people were going, oh, you know, it's the repeat of the World Cup last year. There's pressure on you starting the whole World Cup. Are they going to be ready? Is there going to be jitters? Are they scared? They're showing us right out of the gates, they are not flinching at all.
No messing around here in this first moving game of the World Cup. And we move into next round, round 5, which is a smaller country. These buildings are very distinctive Bhutanese architecture. So we're going to be in Bhutan.
Beautiful.
Going to start them off. I don't think this one might be as easy to 5K.
No, and also, I mean, three times multiplier already. Even if you're just a couple of miles out, it could be pretty big damage, tailing damage. I mean, there's a good chance that this goes all the way to round 10.
Absolutely.
Those couple of 100 points extra you win early on could be game winning.
That is a very, very good point. Consus has a 1,500 points advantage right now in the moving game. And that means that if it goes to round 10, Blinky has to make up as many points as this in the next few rounds. Blinky has found info. Trongsa is a city. and he instantly locks it. He does not want to 5k. Just banking on Consus having not found the info yet, and that's exactly what has happened.
Yeah, Consus still going up and down, has yet to even open the map, maybe. Not aware exactly where we are. He knows the country now. Maybe he found the info as well, but does he have the time to get it locked in? He does not. Blinky 300 meters off Consus with 600 damage taking 57 miles out. And finally, after 2 big 5Ks from Consus, Blinky strikes back.
And we are moving into round 6, which is already a lot more higher on the multipliers, and we have an iconic GeoGuessr meta.
Oh, any Ghana tapers in the chat?
Toby, you know it, I know it, the players will know it. Let's send them into this round.
Is that the telling thing? If I know it, everyone knows it? No comment. I saw your reaction.
Toby.
I saw your reaction, Lindy. I don't need to know. It's fair. It's fair. I'll just join Paolo on his world trip next year.
Toby, I would say so. You are probably more well-versed in GeoGuessr at this point than many of the viewers watching at home. But if you look at these players competing here, I think if you know it, they will know it.
Most likely. Most likely.
Consus found signs for Tamale and another city here, Sala. Trying to line it up right now, while Blinky has also...
Now they have it.
Found the same sign, so I think this will be negligible damage here.
I was gonna say, when do you full commit? Because if it's a smaller city, do you just send it instantly to try and not allow for the opponent to find it as well? Because obviously Consus here finding it first, taking more time, kind of allowed for Blinky to get it as well.
That is Consus' playstyle though. Consus really wants to take his time, be sure about his guess, and in most cases it works for him. I mean, he's the World Cup winner of last year, and we have another 5k in round 6.
5k and yet only 11 damage done in round number 7. Blinky, Consus, they want this to go all the way. They want this to go to round 10.
And this might be a more interesting one.
Okay.
We have a bigger country here. These trees remind me very much of Northern Australia. We also have an Australian bollard here to help us out, and Northern Australia, a big place. If someone recognizes this road. Also, doesn't look like there's info nearby.
You say that, but I've seen these guys 5k areas with less info than this.
You are absolutely correct, Toby. That is definitely right. Let's see how they do on this Australia round.
We will. Up and down the road they go. Blinky instantly in Northern Australia. As you were saying, Len, little Consus now over there as well. But as you're saying, too, with limited info to go by, is this where you try and get a guess in early on with the fear of that 4k multiplier? It can definitely, or 4 times multiplier, I should say, sorry. It can definitely hurt a lot if you guess fast but guess wrong.
Both of them are playing really safely right here because they move until they find info, and both of them have found info. Consus with the bigger towns, he has Kununurra on a sign, which is a really knowable town that Blinky would also know if he had found it. He has not though, he has found a national park sign or something like that. But now he is at the big sign, and I think now it's going to be negligible damage. What you have been saying though is right. Maybe Consus could put on more pressure.
Yeah.
Because he has found info quicker than Blinky, I think, in the last 3 rounds. If he lets the 15 seconds timer run, it is possible that there would have been more damage done by this point.
Exactly. That's where all the mental games come in. But you know what? Let's do it. Let's give ourselves another 5k. This is a 5k championship. Who can get the most right now? If my memory serves me right, they're sat at 3 each. This is completely insane.
I don't know how we're gonna top this.
No, it's wild. It is definitely wild. Round 8 is where we are. 4.5 times multiplier. Again, one slip up, one mistake here, and it is most likely going to be game. But who is going to make it? So far, both these guys are flawless.
The strategy at this point maybe needs to change for Blinky because he is down 1.5. Only like 700 points by this point because he did a lot of damage on the Bhutan. And now we are moving into this Finland round. I think Blinky still wants to find info here because there's 2 more rounds remaining after this. But at some point when he's not ahead, like he is right now, he's a little bit behind in points. At some point he will need to start going more risky. And again, Consus finds the info first. 673, again, the road system is pretty nice in Finland, pretty organized. Oh, Blinky has a better sign though with towns that he knows instantly. If Blinky locks this in quickly, it might be good damage for him.
Definitely could be, and he needs that. Just to reiterate for those of you guys coming in as new viewers, first of all, welcome to all of you to what could be one of the best matches of all time. Secondly, if there's no guaranteed winner, if no one goes to 0 by round 10, it's the player with the most health left after that round is done that wins it. So
and they are far apart. apart.
They are far
This
apart.
is a lot of damage for Blinky.
4.5 times multiplier. Who's gonna get it? We are going to have Blinky almost 5k, but look at that, 4,000 damage done to Consus, almost down and out, but a massive lead coming in now with 2 rounds left to play.
Wow. I mean, Blinky just put himself in the driver's seat there with an incredible guess, and we are in Turkey.
Something might tell me that we're indeed in.
It is possible, and there's going to be a lot of info because this is an urban round. Let's see who finds the info first. Can Consus strike back here?
I mean, it's again Consus who had the info first. The previous one didn't instantly go for it. Blinky comes around. We hope that Blinky will get some points to tie things up, but this is huge now. Over 3,000 points ahead.
I think they're gonna both be really close here. Here's Samsunspor on that sign, which is a football club in Turkey of the city of Samsun. So I think that's where we are. Yep, there it confirms it on the sign. Blinky is already there, but he's going in a different city because the signs point to Samsun. So it's possible that Blinky is right here. Consus is a little bit further away. I don't think this is gonna be game though, but it's gonna be close.
It's gonna be close. Definitely 5 times multiply. If Consus doesn't get this one, that could be him down and out, and he won. Blinky gets the city in lockdown. 261, almost 5k, and it's gonna take Consus down to 216 as we make our way into the final round. Consus needs 2 things now. He needs a massive country, and he needs to pretty much get it instantly in order to get Blinky 4,000 points down.
Yes, I think Consus has to change up his strategy now, because if you let Blinky have the time like you did before, you see it's not gonna work. And we are gonna look at what the round brings us. This is round 10. We're in a forest. There's a bollard. With this bollard, I believe that the players might be able to recognize this country pretty easily. I think it might actually be a German bollard, yeah. Some bollards look similar, but I think it might just be a German one. Consus could go in for a quick region guess here.
It's a do or die time. This is the final round. If Consus doesn't get Blinky down either to below him at under 216 or take him out completely, he will have lost the first moving round of the GeoGuessr World Cup. So he needs to throw like literally all the dice, all the money on the exact same pot here.
I think he's gonna go.
Let's go.
He's gotta go for the quick guess. Let's see what we do here. Let's see if he can find the knockout in a sheerly impossible situation.
What a comeback it would be to take Blinky out here. Now he's going in. No lock in just yet. Again, every single extra second you give Blinky could be 5k material in the making.
Consus is again sticking to his strategy of finding some info, because he was quicker last times at finding info. He doesn't know it though, because he didn't
have it this time around. Now he's going up and down the street. He went out of the city, the opposite direction. Maybe he'll get something here, but again, you need to be so incredibly fast. Blinky is already roaming the city, and it's just a matter of time before he gets himself a big street sign, an intersection, or something.
But Consus is moving out of the city, because in Germany you usually see very good, very useful information on the edges of the city, because there's a town entry sign.
I mean, Blinky
has the town.
Yeah,
this is over. There's an address on the truck. It says Osnabrück. And that's exactly where
a massive sign there as well. I was gonna say maybe, hopefully that truck is from really far away, but that sign right there is.
We might end it off with a 5k here.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I don't think he can line it up in time, but it's gonna be very close, no matter what.
Consus had to go all in. He had to go further off, but it's not gonna matter. Blinky, everyone's saying it. He is one of the, if not the best moving player in the world, and this time around is no different. 1-0 to Blinky against his nemesis in Consus.
Absolutely, that was an insane game though. Insane moving skills by both of the players, and I think it did play out in the end like we expected.
Yeah, definitely did. I was gonna say you see the smile on his face, but there really isn't a smile. He is still full focus mode. There's no time to linger here. He's getting ready for this no move round to come, because as we go from move to no move, we also, correct me if you think I'm wrong here, go from maybe Blinky home field advantage to Consus.
Absolutely. One little stats fact about Blinky: in moving duels in competitive GeoGuessr, he has a 94% win rate over 1,200 games.
That's absurd.
94%. That is nothing that Consus can bolster. So in no move, it's a lot more closely matched, and I think we're gonna get the players into round 1.
Let's get them in. Let's get this one started. So far, we have the Frenchman Blinky 1-0 up against Consus, our reigning world champion. And remember, of course, this is what they can do. I mean, effectively exactly what we're doing. They can spin around, they can zoom in and out as much as they want, but they will not get to go up and down these otherwise pretty beautiful streets.
Now they can't search for signs as they did before.
Exactly.
All we get is this, and we have a little bit of language here, which I think might be French.
Okay.
So, maybe Blinky would have the home field advantage here, if I'm not mistaken.
We shall
But
see.
let's jump them in.
Let's get it started, chat. Let's get everyone engaged. Get ready for this no-move game as they get a little bit of spin around from Consus. The game instantly, I mean, you saw it, they saw it, right off the bat, down towards that sign to get info.
Yeah, and the region guessed by Blinky in France here makes total sense. We have a lot of pine trees here, which are very common in this area in Gascogne. Those are planted pine forests there because the land was so marshy. It's actually a very interesting historical fact here. But yeah, both of the players know this. That's the area in France with the most pine trees, and also red roofs make total sense for this area. Red tiled roofs, and I don't think we're gonna see a lot of damage here. They are basically one road apart. That is actually absurd.
They have a couple of buildings, a couple of trees, and a sign that doesn't even say a city. And still, they're nearby one another. A bit off to the east is where they headed, but as you can see here, still damages are going to be higher in these games. As I say that, 5 is all that we get for round 1. But the distance to the correct location, when you don't get the crucial info, you have to just do the vibe guessing, and that's where big damage can come in.
Both of them really, really close. They're under 40 kilometers. This one looks a lot harder here. We have no Google card to help us out, nothing. We have red soil, we have a little bit of vegetation, and I don't think even the continent is obvious here. This might be big damage in round 2, but maybe I will just go for the same
There's
guess.
no car meta antenna.
There's nothing. There is nothing.
No?
If I were to guess here, I'm just gonna throw it out. I would guess probably Philippines.
Well, let's see if they get the same.
Let's see if they have the same vibes here or not, but I can see different continents working here. The vegetation is quite ambiguous.
And we've seen it before too, that round 2 can actually end games. I mean, obviously, normally that means we have a little more damage done in round 1, but technically, if the continents apart, it can be dangerous. Do we see soil?
I just saw that they zoomed into a pole, and that pole actually gives away the country. Both of them found it. Yeah, it is a Sri Lankan or Thai pole. I don't know if they can tell from this distance. They are slightly different, but Blinky is confident on Sri Lanka. I think landscape-wise it makes more sense. Yeah, so let's see what Consus does.
I thought for a second he was going Indonesia there. It's like, whenever they start zooming in and they go far off, I always get a little bit scared.
Absolutely.
But smaller country, smaller damage is going to come through here. Just 11, another chip off the shoulder. But back-to-back wins here. Maybe the mental games at what really matters, even if it's a smaller win, as we take to the snowy landscapes. Oh, this is beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. I think this might be one of the Nordic countries, but it's pretty hard to tell which one.
Yeah?
Let's jump the players right in.
Is there a world where you think Sweden, but then it's Canada?
That happens.
Are these trees?
That does happen.
Could they be Canadian?
The way the road...
To me, it's just a pine tree.
The way the road layout is, because it's a very narrow road,
road layout?
makes more sense for Europe.
But there's snow everywhere. How do you go road layout on this?
No. The road is not wide. In Canada or the US, roads would be usually more wider and usually more straight. So the usual guess
I'm so amazed.
would be Europe.
I'm just amazed. I'm amazed by the amount of info that the players in the tournament, everyone can just store in your brains. I mean,
absolutely.
It's incredible.
It is still a difficult round. We saw Consus zooming in on copyright. Some countries got covered in different years than other countries. So, for example, if you see a specific copyright, you can maybe sometimes rule out a certain country. Now Blinky is looking for Sweden here. It would be our first home field round of the day.
Yeah, true.
As we are hosting this World Cup from Stockholm, Sweden. And Consus is actually opting for a different guess.
Far apart. It was in fact Sweden, just north of Halmstad.
Huge damage here.
Massive damage to kick things off. 3.8 thousand. Huge hit onto Consus, who's already down 1-0. Remember, it's best of 3s in the group stages. So another one of these, and that's Blinky out victorious.
Absolutely. Consus is really on the back foot now, but remember, the group stage is 5 games long, so even if he loses this one to Blinky, he still has a good chance of advancing further. Now we are in a European village here. And we have some language. Should Alpino, it says, so we're probably in the Alps. Language seems Italian to me, and I think this kind of bricks, I'm just gonna throw out the region guess here. Might be more common in the Aosta Valley of Italy.
Okay, you say just the region, and then you go super specific. I appreciate it. I was gonna say Alps, but Dolomites, you know. But I mean, you went even further into the specifics than I was even.
Let's see if one of them goes for the same guess as me here. Blinky zooms into the Aosta Valley. I think he does have the same thought, but it's definitely not a guarantee. You can see buildings with bricks everywhere in Italy.
Is there mountain meta? Is that a thing where you know shapes of various famous mountains? I mean, obviously you have like Everest in the background. That's one thing, but like famous like mountain ridges that you can base guesses off?
Absolutely. I think in the Alps, which is a huge mountain range, it is more difficult. People will not know as many distinct mountain ridges. But if you go, for example, to the US, then mountain ridges are a little bit further apart from each other, more iconic, and like they consist of fewer hills, I would say, basically.
Yeah.
So you might recognize the shapes more easily. I think in the Alps people have not learned mountains, but in other countries they certainly have.
7 seconds left to play again. If Consus is off here, this could be game over for match number 1. Let's see where they're gonna go in. Close to one another, but both a bit off target.
Yeah.
So it should not be game winning. As a matter of fact, Consus able to strike back just a little bit, sure, but we still have 5 more rounds left to play. So get those small damages in now so that you can maybe win the game later.
Exactly. And now we got a big country which has a lot of meta that people remember. And this is Mongolia right here with this Google car where they drove with a tent. Because they have to camp out in the desert. So the Google crew, when they covered this with Google Street View, they took a tent with them. And it is visible in...
Can we get some Seems Good in the chat for the Google cars that commit to camping out in the wilderness just to provide you guys with coverage? I think that's huge. That's amazing.
Personally, I think this looks more like Western Mongolia. Let's see what the players think about this. And I think we might see some correct towns because I think most of these players are familiar with Mongolian coverage. 2100 health, down 1-0 already. If you're Consus here, again, I mean, we haven't seen him jump on getting the fast guess in just because he knows Blinky's gonna use the time anyway. But is now maybe the time to try and maybe catch him off guard a little bit? I don't think so in this round.
Unbeatable in terms of the time pressure.
I think time pressure is not what Consus needs right now. This is a round where you have distinctive mountain ranges on all sides, and as you see, they are zooming into towns and looking if the mountains around these towns match up with what they see in game.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing right now, and they need to be sure if your town matches up and your opponent doesn't find it, then you will be able to do huge damage here. So they are taking their time.
Seconds.
Yeah, exactly. We have 9 seconds left. We have pretty different guesses right now.
Definitely do. Could definitely be game. 2,000 damage is within the realms of opportunity.
Actually, they are in the same city.
But now they jump.
They are in the same city. Yeah,
they joined each other. And you know what? You said it could 5k it. I mean, Blinky is as close as can be without doing so. 12 damage.
They both basically found the mountain range. All right.
Last second as well. That was a nice little change up there. I believe it was Blinky who hopped on over.
Yeah.
The very last moment.
It was indeed Blinky who changed.
Yeah.
Now we got a more difficult round, I would say. The country is not immediately obvious to me here. Do we have some information maybe on this dam? We do not. So, I mean, this is based on the trees. This should be Northern Europe somewhere, most likely. But
last time I checked, Northern Europe is pretty big. So you know what? This could be game either way, depending on the vibe that these players are guessing.
Joey, you are absolutely right. Let's see where they go for.
Let's see indeed.
I could see like Sweden maybe, or like Finland or Norway maybe.
There's no immediate pole meta on any of the stuff here.
Wooden poles are common in either of these countries, so...
And no top, because I know you have, one thing is wood poles, but you always look at the tops of the poles as well.
Exactly.
For info, but there's nothing here that you can go by?
I don't think so in this round. Those are countries where you usually use other clues to identify them. Oh wait, actually?
Okay.
I'm
actually
not ruling out that it is not Northern Europe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Making it exciting, I like it.
I'm not ruling out that it could be something else.
Well, both the lads here are heading up towards the North Consus Blinky up
Exactly, they're both in Norway right now, but I mean, Blinky already has a dam here.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, he's in Sweden actually.
Gone back to Sweden, yep, exactly 3.5 times multiplier.
Sweden versus Norway.
This is going to be dangerous. They are
gonna be right
apart. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Blinky right on point. And this could very well and will very well be game. And Blinky finally, the curse has been lifted. He fell short in the World Cup last year, but now, to kick off the 24 World Cup, he will 2-0 his arch nemesis in Consus.
Blinky got his revenge for the finals of the last World Cup. And maybe this is gonna give him some momentum for the next round.
Definitely. You know what I hope? I hope that right now our editors go out and they just cross out Weakness Netherlands and he finds out something new. Because he is no longer weakened by the pressure of Consus, because he just 2-0'd him.
This is an absolutely insane and huge result for Blinky. I think most people were expecting that Consus has the edge on no move, but Blinky, as you saw there, with 5,800 health remaining, he was able to manage to beat Consus.
Also, just, I mean, in all the rounds where we said, oh, there's not enough info to go by, it's a typical one, they were still able to get within 100 kilometers. Sometimes, as here, just a couple of 100 meters off, it was insane. The amount of rounds he had at 490 plus.
Yeah.
Completely insane.
That moving game, I think, will go down in the history books as the GeoGuessr game with the most 5Ks ever.
Definitely. And that's to kick things off. We've just started the tournament, and you know what I want to do now? I want to hop down to the stage and hear from Blinky how he feels after that win there.
Blinky, that was a masterclass. I mean, talk to me. You had 3 5Ks, 3 4.999s game one. How are you feeling? I know Consus had a bit of like a lead in the beginning, it felt like. How did that feel for you?
So at first, I wasn't sure how to play, and I guess I kind of rushed it a bit in a few rounds. I didn't get info, and I was like, maybe there's no info. And especially, I mean, in Australia, I had some info that was kind of baity in a way, because it was the other national park. Because like at first I thought this one, and then I saw the info, and I focused on that, but it was wrong. And then the more I played the rounds, I realized the way the map is gonna be, and that I should play this differently. And so I waited to get info every time, and I did get info every time. So that's why I feel like there's gonna be a lot of high scores on these rounds.
Yeah, getting a feel for that map. I mean, as a moving main, how do you feel? You played your first moving game, seeing how the moving map will be. How do you feel going forward in the tournament, knowing it's kind of going to be set up like that?
I mean, it's in a way like it's good for moving players because there's some things that they can use, but also the fact that it is so available, the information. Like good moving players make do with like small information that not many people know how to use, like hard to find, or like people don't know that it's even useful. But if you have just like big useful info quite close, then it's like it's a race. Like the first that gets it. And I feel like that's why I was only fast moving, because I was trying to get the info first, and that's what paid off.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, cool, man. Blinky, you did great. A crazy way to start. Little reverse of the finals last year. Feels good, man. Good luck on the rest of your games, man. You're gonna kill it.